So this is video 2, week 16, and in this case we're going to ask ourselves, exactly do I need to post? Well, when we look at this, we have admin posting ability, so that doesn't really help us much. But when we look at our website itself and the data that I set up, I would think we need to post a title, an image, and a bit of text. So let's go ahead and look at our recipes table, and what we're going to do is add a title, a description, and we're going to do an upload. So let's do a let's get our index file and create a form first. So for people who don't know where to start, always start with the user, and in this case the user is the administrator. So like right here, I have the if else. If there's no session, we log in, otherwise we do this. So this is where we can create our form. Okay, so I'm going to close PHP, and I'll open it again down here, and we'll do our form in the middle. Okay, so remember, title and description. Form action equals index.php. We're sending the data to our own script, and we're going to need to upload an image for that recipe. Now, this image, I'm doing it because it's what I want for my project, but you'll notice there's no requirement for images in yours. I do think you should do it though, but it's not part of the points. So, that said, I haven't taught you how to upload a file yet. And we do this in WebD 166, which is the PHP class that's a lot more PHP, but basically, in our form, we need to tell the form and the server that different types of data will be coming in. It's actually multi-part / form data, I think. Multi-part / form data. And I'm going to take a quick look at Google because my memory is failing me, but I don't mind keeping the video on. Just because I want you to know that I do the same thing you guys do. See that multi-part - form data? That's what I forgot, but I didn't want to waste time by making a mistake. So this tells, again, the server and the browser to expect data that's different than text. So we might have an image. Okay, so basically we're going to have the title, which is input type equals text, name equals text, and the content for the recipe. So we'll do, in this case, we'll do a text area. Now, in my project, I'm probably going to add a WYSIWYG, okay? And this name, by the way, shouldn't be text, it should be title. And a WYSIWYG is nothing more than a toolbar, which I will do after we get done with the basic functionality, just because it'll allow me to submit styled text for my recipes. So right now I have input type equals submit, name equals submit, and the value of this can be called add recipe. Now another thing to consider is after I post these recipes, should I have the ability to delete them? Well, I haven't asked you to do that for your final project, but maybe I'll just go ahead and add that functionality just because it's easy and can allow my user to clean up the recipe site. And if I do it, then you could feel free to do it yourself because you may want to use this site again. Okay, so at this point we have title, content. Oh, but the file, add a photo. And let's make it a JPEG only. Only because I don't want to get into the concept of PHP's ability to handle images. I want this strictly to be about the database and to remove any stress you guys might have. So this is input type equals file, name equals, we'll call it photo, and that's it. So basically at this point when I save, I'm going to go back to our localhost here, and we'll hit the admin, which I should have a session, and there it is. And so I have title, content, and add a photo. So let's add some breaks here just because it looks a little sloppy right now. And again, I'm trying not to get overwhelmed with HTML, but we do need to make sure that this looks reasonably good. We can work with it. The content itself, I can drag this and make it bigger, but I'll leave it up to you. We really should have rows and columns on it. And it should be, CSS, but I realize WebD 153, a lot of you took this first without checking the advisory or the prereqs, and so you don't have that HTML, which is why I'm leaving it open. So once I click on this, I need to add the title and the content, and once I do this, it should insert. So let's go ahead and if session is not equals or authorized, this is the form. So what I can do is work with the entire post data right in the else statement. I mean, I could do it above. This is the login, so submit would never be equal to login again, but what we'll do is we know right now that submit equals post submit, right? So I can say is if scalar submit is equal to add recipe, well, let's go ahead and add our recipe. So we will do scalar title equals underscore post title. Okay, and then we'll do content equals scalar underscore post content. Okay, and now we need to get the file. Well, actually, we want to talk logically about how we're going to create this photo. And I would like to name the picture that gets uploaded the exact ID of the recipe itself. So in order to do that, I need to make an insert statement right now before I even move the file up to the server. So I'm going to insert into, and we'll look at our database again because it's simply going into rec underscore recipes. So rec underscore recipes, and the values will be recipe title and recipe description. Recipe title and recipe description. And this will be the values of, remember we're coming from a form again, so we're going to bind those values again. And we'll do this in SQL so we know that we're inserting. I like to do that because even though I'm only going to be inserting in this and deleting, I want to make sure that I understand what process is which. So let's go ahead and bind those values now. So bind value, and the first one will be recipe title, and that'll be the title itself, and then we'll have the content. Actually, we'll do PDO : param string, and then we'll bind the second value. Now, when we bind these values, we don't need to add slashes or protect against single quotes or anything like that. So it really takes care of it for us. So this time I'm going to do the number 2, and this will be the content. And then I can execute. Yay! So at this point, our data should be in the database, but it's time to make the picture equal to the ID.jpg. So what I'm going to do is show you in php.net the last insert ID and what it does. Those of you who have had me for WebD 166, you know about this right now, but this is a really fun function because it will tell you the systems. Here it is right here, PDO last insert ID. So let's go down to an example so we can see it. So here's an example of an insert, and here we have an execute, and then we can actually output. DBH actually has the value. So knowing that DBH is the database handle that equals the connection, I can do something like last ID equals DBH last insert ID, which is, I think it's just this. So let's make sure I got the underscores right. Nope, it's 1. It's case sensitive too. It's a insert, and this needs to be, excuse me. This should be ID as well. So let's take a look. It is last insert ID, and there it is right there. So we've replicated what was in phpMyAdmin. So now it's time to create a variable called new pic name, and that's going to be last ID, and we're going to append .jpg to it. Okay. And now it's time to actually do the actual uploading. Now, you've seen a couple super globals in this class. In WebD 166, we're going to go over it quite a bit, but the way we handle uploaded files is we use something called scalar_files. And when the file gets uploaded, it goes into a temp directory. And that temp directory will be equal to the file photo. See how the name is photo here? So we'll do files photo like that, temp name, and then the destination, since we're in the admin section, is going to be going up 1. And we'll look at our structure here. You see how we have images there? And that is 1 and 2. So what we're going to do is go photo up 1, over to images, and then $new pic name. We have to go up 1 because we're in the admin folder right now. So this is actually a bool, so it should trigger a true if it works. If bool echo record inserted and pic uploaded. Okay, so let's try it out. I'm not saying it's going to work. I don't know for sure, but let's try it like this. And we'll need a nice recipe image. So I'm going to go to images.google.com, and let's look for tacos. I feel like tacos tonight. So I'm going to add, ooh, these look good. That's nice. And it's a nice big image too, so that's a beautiful thing. It's going to be nice and, ooh, look at that. Okay, so we're going to save image, and this can be called tacos.jpg. So remember, our goal is to make this thing upload into our images folder, and it should be number 3 because our recipes right now have 1 and 2. Okay, so we'll go to our recipes site, and this is perfect. So I'm going to add this, and it's fine. I can take this list and run with it. Sorry, Pillsbury Doughboy. We need to get this. So I'm just going to do the steps. And we'll do, there's the steps right there. Now, I don't have any styling right now. I have none of it. So that is where the WYSIWYG will come in. So I'm going to do Chris's Tacos, and I'm going to do it with an apostrophe because without the PDO, this would fail. And then I'm going to grab my photo. So this is tacos.jpg, and if all goes according to plan, this will get into the database. I'll have tacos. Let's do, you know what, I'm going to do raw HTML here just because I want it to look okay. So I'll do li, and we'll do li here, and then we'll do li here for list items, and li here. I need some styling, otherwise I won't forgive myself. But our WYSIWYG will be something that's really nice that you'll want to use. You want to use it and have your stuff looking a little bit better. My hope is, even though I'm not grading it based on aesthetics, that your portfolio, when you get into the CSS courses, that you'll be able to tune it up a notch. So let's add the recipe and see what happened. Yay! So it's record inserted, pic unloaded. Pic uploaded. So we should see in our images a 3.jpg, and we do. Look at that. There's our tacos. Pretty big picture. So now let's go to our homepage, and there's Chris's Tacos right here. We can go ahead and read more, and there's my tacos, and I can print. So that's looking good. I now have the ability to add my recipe, and whatever your project theme is, you can add an image and your comments. And then in the next video, we'll go a little bit further. Of course, we still have to do the ability for users to comment. So that finishes this script.